The Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast is dedicated to all things Horus Heresy. This podcast delves into the grimdark universe where Primarchs clash, legions rise, and loyalties fracture faster than a Land Raider's track. But it's not just about the lore of the Horus Heresy. The Accountabilibuddies also explore the gaming side of things, from painting and modeling tips to product reviews and ideas to help you in your hobby. So, whether you're a seasoned Forge World veteran or a fresh-faced scout, this podcast is your Vox channel to the galaxy. Expect discussions on lore, modeling, gaming, and maybe even the shenanigans that your hosts somehow seem to find their way into. Remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there are only two things you can count on: heresy and your trusty Accountabilibuddies.
And welcome to episode 132 of Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. Tonight we have the host of myself, Jack, and
Brian.
Duncan.
Jamie.
And Jack. Before we get into the nonsensical nature of this podcast, let's do a quick station identification.
Do you love resin bases? Then go to our sponsor, Elric Hobbies, for all of your basing and basing accessory needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a discount. Legendary Monument Hobbies. Monument Hobbies is a one-stop shop for all of your painting needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a 5% discount on your purchase. Pop Goes the Monkey. Find maker of third-party accessory bits of arms, legs, backpacks, and more, where you can get 10% off your first order over $125 with code HERESYABB at checkout.
Identification. And thank you to our patrons. Without you, none of this would be possible. So you have only yourself to blame for our shenanigans and or hijinks. So before we get too far down the rabbit hole, let's kick it over to hobby progress. Duncan, do you want to start us off for tonight?
Oh, sure. Why not? Hobby progress. Well, I'll go ahead and say that work on the Night Lords is progressing. I finally acquired my decal set, or as Jack would say it, my decals for my Night Lords, and I've been putting some lightning on dudes. I'm trying to avoid the temptation to put lightning on a dreadnought, a contemptor dreadnought's crotch, just as a straight dangly line down, just to highlight it. I'm trying to avoid that temptation, but it's really weighing on me. I got him decaled up. I got my Praetor decaled up. I've talked to some people behind the scenes about some stuff. Specifically with Warzone Houston. We'll talk about that later. And I've talked with Kurt, got some more work done on our art for us for the next iteration of our art go around. And I think that's about it at this point. And I talked to a local friend who's probably going to give us some chain swords to give away. I'm not certain how big he means chain swords, but if my hands are any indication, it's right around a 2.5 foot chain sword. I don't know anything about how big they are, how awesome they are, but they seem cool. And that's about it. Jack, what hobby stuff have you done this week, sir?
Some cool models that I found online place. The designer would like to remain nameless for it. Then somehow I came across Saturn IX Dreadnought and Saturn IX Terminators with the appropriate weapons. So I guess they fell off of a truck someplace. I'm not really sure about any of that.
So you're saying that you have some Saturn IXs? And some Terminators
And
and some Saturday Night Dread.
YouTube channel that I will try to remember the name of as I'm looking up. But one of his sticks that he does is that he finds 3D files once on a 6 side, once in a 6 side, like SIX side. Who his whole entire stick is he tries to find 3D files and get them painted before GW ever releases them, because he's done that several times. Remember, none of these things are related to anything else that I'm talking about. There's just a flow of consciousness coming out of my head right now. So yeah, I'm going to get my Saturnine Dread and my Saturnine Terminators together. The Dread is going to be rocking probably double Disintegrators, because why not put the new shiny gun on the new shiny thing? And then the question is, do I do double Disintegrators or Disintegrator and Fist for the Terminators? Duncan last night said you never go half Disintegrator.
No, that's not what I said. I said you never half-ass one thing or two things. You always whole-ass one thing, which is why I said you should go double fist. Yep, you should double fist those Terminators.
Double.
That's the question. Can they go double fist? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I think they have specifically said that the fist is only on the left arm.
Yeah.
It can double gun. It can double disintegrate, double plasma, but the fist, I think, can only go on one arm.
Yeah, it seems to be that they don't have intentions of letting the Saturnine Dread or even the Saturnine Terminators be close combat related. They seem to all be shooty.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're recommending for the Terminators to also go double Disintegrator.
If you're going to go whole hog into that, man, throw it at the wall. Go ahead. Take all those horrible saves when you shoot yourself in the foot.
So yeah, I mean, like if you don't want to take a whirlwind, I guess you could take the Saturnine Terminators and Dread with the plasma and shoot ballistic, or what do you call it?
Barrage?
Ballistic arc. No, ballistic arc over the top of things.
That's called barrage.
Yeah, barrage. Yeah, you can do that with the plasma, but the disintegrators is just straight shots.
Yeah, so go straight disintegrators, Jack. Go straight disintegrators. And have the overload 2 on everything, so that every single time you shoot on a 1 or a 2, you wound yourself, maybe.
So apologize. The Dreadnought can have double Disintegrators. What's the other weapon that the Dreadnought can have?
Plasma Bombard.
Plasma Bombard. And the Terminators can also have Plasma something else.
Many versions of the Plasma one.
Okay.
Both, yeah.
Okay. I remember from the show and from you all just now making fun of me that you can kill yourself.
Yes.
with the Disintegrator.
With both weapons, actually.
With all of them. The Plasma gun can also, if you overload it, can do overload damage to you as well.
We can say we played with the new toys.
Okay, cool.
That's the whole entire reason.
Then yeah, go double Disintegrators because balls out.
Okay. And then the other thing is, I may have found on a truck also a quad accelerator gun platform thing.
So we don't know the rules on that specifically yet.
Yeah.
Basically,
Dub has come out and said that it's
like a double Sarkarian.
Yeah, double Sarkarian quad.
And then if you get within 3 inches of the base of it, unless you get a prevailing +5 save, is that what it was?
+5.
You get invulnerable.
Yep.
Now there's a debate on if it's like 3 inches from the center or 3 inches from like the actual legs.
Given the footprint of that thing, I'm pretty sure it's going to be from the actual hull.
I mean, that's a pretty big footprint. So
yeah, that's why I'm going to say it's probably from the hull, not from the legs.
I'm saying from the legs. Because why else make it so big if that wasn't the purpose behind it?
I hate you sometimes.
Vagaries? I don't know, man.
I absolutely hate you sometimes.
Because
have you found anything else on that truck, Jack?
Can you send the truck to me too? Like,
oh my God!
Straight to Kentucky, man. I take it all the time up to Louisville.
65. Yeah, I saw it when I was on vacation. I saw the truck headed your way past a Bowling Green. I saw it at the Corvette Museum. It was there. That's actually the Corvette Museum is actually where the truck was at. Like that's where they fell out. I was looking at the Corvette and I'm like, oh, Saturnine, perfect.
Yeah, they're taking a pit stop there at the first Bowling Green exit.
It was so the sinkhole at the
the vet thing in it. Oh my gosh. So I've been painting on the Titan because like it's a big project, and I'm probably going to be doing that for a while, to be honest with you. I've done a lot of the legs are getting close to being where I want them to be before weathering, like hardcore weathering on it. And I started base coating the upper torso, which the upper torso, and I'm not kidding, literally took almost an entire bottle of Monument paint just to base coat it by itself.
Wow.
And then, yeah. And I wasn't doing like I was doing like feathering. Like I wasn't like a layering. I mean, it was like I'm intentionally trying to let stuff show through from underneath to give it like depth and stuff like that, like Zenthal brushing and highlighting. And then I've already done wash on it too, which ate a whole bottle of Nun oil, just the upper half. So I'll end up having to get some paint this week to continue on with like the weapons platform and the and some of the other smaller parts for it. The armor I've been holding off because I'm still not decided on what color I mean, I know what Legio is going to be. I just don't know what color patterns I'm doing on the actual plates. I got to kind of figure that out, map it out a little bit better. I was thinking about getting some stencils to add some effects in underneath the layers of the paints on the armor. And then I got to find some transfers too. So I need to talk to a man about transfers. So, and then I've been, of course, printing stuff for other people not named me. Mainly Press Gang for John. I've got like a whole, of course it doesn't work. There it goes. Got a whole mess of these sitting on my desk right now. So
zoom in on that. Did that also fall off of the truck?
It did.
Okay.
There's like a crate of them that fell off a truck. They're all going to Alabama. They're all going to Texas right now. So,
that poor truck driver, he's gonna get fired.
He is going to get fired, man. He's very careless. He left the tailgate open and stuff's just rolling off the back end.
The left and to the right.
Right, yeah. So yeah, I've been working on that project. It's close to being done. So, but yeah, the Titan's going to take a while to finish up. And I need to clean up my workstation. It's a mess right now from just working on the Titan because of how big a project it's been. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like any free hobby time, I've been coming down here painting on it. So, and it's just like, it doesn't look like I'm making it that far, but it's just such a big thing to do.
Hey, every single project is taking one step at a time.
Yeah.
Rome
Well,
was not burned in a day.
but I'm saying, like, you can do a 10-man squad in like a day or something like that. This is like, I don't have like the time to put like an entire month literally just painting on this, 24, like a normal work hours.
No,
So I'm getting 2 and 3 hour paint sessions, which doesn't look like it does a whole lot of projects. So like I'm basically hitting like one color highlighter, one type of wash or something like that, and on one part of the body, because it's just such a big thing. And I knew it was like going to be like this going in. So, but
okay.
I guess we've got Brian.
I really haven't done very much. I was playing around with some of the Vallejo spray cans to see how transparent their red spray paint was, and it doesn't look like it's as transparent as I was hoping, so I probably will just have to do it the old airbrush method way for what I was gonna do on some minis, but no big deal. That's all I got.
We lost one of the people
Ryan.
who was listening.
Takes us over to the news. Who is going to throw it up on their screen? Since I am recording.
Well, let me finish pulling it up for us.
Is Jamie fighting the computer?
Probably.
I'm having camera problems.
Oh, I thought you were fighting the computer. I was going to be really excited. I'm like, oh.
Jamie versus the computer?
Jamie versus computer, or the fumes finally got to him. He's having a psychotic break.
That happened a long time ago, man. Like,
right, hold on. Let me.
We're well past that.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to get my screen to share.
Okay,
There we go.
I have a bunch of the news up already.
Oh,
you
well
don't.
then,
I don't know.
I mean, we can play this by ear. I've already got it pulled up and it's already sharing. Does that work for you, Jamie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. So, news item number 1, again from Starforged. The Starforged 40K Ring of the Plague Dominus Death Guard. Silver, or silver and copper is right there. Here's silver and gold. It's got a little bit on the side.
Great. Googly moogly.
Yeah. So the silver and copper, which, looks reasonable, is $130. The silver and gold one, $820.98. So if you, if you have silly money to buy a Titan, you could go ahead and grab that. So I'm going to ignore that one. That one's done. I mean, they're neat, but that's about it. There's a print and roll trenches and battlefields Kickstarter going on that is being done by Custom Miniature Maker. And here is what all they are doing. It's pretty much rollers that you can roll out terrain on sheets of gray stuff. You can roll it on pretty much any little kind of material you want that you can then have hard and dry. Yeah, sure. Sure, whatever you want. They've also got tank traps. I mean, they've got some pretty neat textures here. I'm not gonna lie. Some of this could be really awesome for doing a trench board or for doing basing. Like they've got the duck board there, and they've got sandbagging there. Little bitty craters everywhere, like shelled out. Footprints in mud. They've got some 3D printed terrain. They've got one on here that's where is it?
The one with the Krieg looking guys face down in the mud's pretty cool.
This is the one I like because it looks kind of like it's a chaosified wall, trench wall. I kind of like that one. And they got this for what realistically could be Trench Crusade, and then this one right here, which looks kind of like a medieval corpses in mud. I like this. I think it's pretty neat. I haven't backed it yet, but the important thing is the digital bundle for the roller and everything else. It's only like 15 pounds, so, or euros, or whatever that is. Comes out to about $20. It's not a bad deal. I might be interested in that. I'm not really certain yet. Then there is Wargames Atlantic has a new release for Death Fields. These are multi-part dudes that are currently on order or pre-order. Unfortunately, they're not immediately linked from that. So I think they're likely to be 3D prints because they are digital. They look pretty neat. They look pretty awesome. If you have a way or find a way to use them, cool. More power to you. They're not quite my cup of tea, so I likely wouldn't jump on that myself. But I can see why other people would. Speaking of news, our friends over at Fearix have gotten to the taking of Fearix. Pillars of Dolos Prime is currently set up for August 16th and 17th. It is in Dallas. It's their first time ever doing a standalone Heresy narrative event. Seems really awesome. They've got tickets for $88.64 with a $10 off coupon thing applied somehow. There are only a few tickets left. That's going to be held at Soccer Spectrum at 1251 Digital Drive, Richardson, Texas, 75081. So there's that. And I think that is honestly all of the news that I have.
Yeah, GW really, they had Old World Deepkin, I think was the preview this week, and that was pretty much it. They had Haven that was kind of cute, but other than that was pretty much it for GW.
Yeah. I mean, GW did for Heresy stuff. They put out a couple lore articles this week.
Yeah.
The first one was where the Loyalist Legion's at, and it talks about each of the Loyalist Legions and their status. Then it talked about how the trap was sprung on Isfon 5, and where each of the Traitor Legions stood at that point. And it's got some neat art. It's got some neat Marines looking at it. They're all obviously ones out of the box to kind of promote the box. So I was really kind of enjoyed that. They also gave us rules on how the objectives missions work. And I'm actually going to go through this pretty quick. Victory points. In summation, most units can tap your victory points or can capture objectives by getting a model within 3, and then you score on each VP, you score VP for each objective you control during the victory subphase at the end of your turn. So what that means is turn-based scoring. You and your opponents contest the same objective. You compare the combined tactical strength, which is the number of models in the unit that are in range, i.e. 3 of that objective, to find out who controls it. And then things like tactical squads or last rifle sections that have line add that number to your tactical strength. And you get, say the objective's worth 3. If you have line 2, then congratulations, you get bonus points for scoring the line. So if it's worth 3, then you have line 2, then you gain 5. Those being the primary mission point would be or primary missions for the game would be scoring those objectives. They also gave us the 4 secondaries, which are the primary, which are last man standing. At the end of the game, have more units that are not routed or destroyed. Slay the Warlord for killing high command units. Giant Killer, killing Lords of War and Primarchs and Warlords. And First Strike, killing something on the first turn. I'm not going to go through everything else. There's a couple little bitty bits of rules that are in there, such as Vanguard, Expendable, and First Strike. Those are neat. But we haven't really gotten a lot of extra rules right now. So,
right. But I will say that some of those I don't know what you call them, unit types or rules. They do bring in other units that make them pretty much have been sitting on the shelf of like not in use. Like the past 2 editions, they've actually made them, at least from this appearance or up front, very intriguing and give them new possibilities to actually see light of day. So
yeah, and that's something I think that kind of is, I think, and obviously we don't have the levers in front of us. We don't have the rules specifically in front of us. But for those people who are out there worrying that things are not going to be around, it does seem to me that they are making the rules available to make everything that you already have a viable thing to play on the table during the game.
Yeah.
Like a veteran squad who's geared for guns, they seem to be a viable thing. A vet squad geared for close combat seems to be viable. Rhinos, viable. Terminators of various flavors, viable.
Yeah.
And
apparently even the turrets. So
yeah, they're seeming to focus on making everything that's been available for us to play with yet again something that can actually see the table and have a reason to actually be there and not just be an immediate discard choice, if that makes sense.
Right.
And it's got some of the rules on some of the things they've got, like the expendable. I really liked, because that's like instead of you getting, like, say you have a unit that gets bonus kill points or whatever for killing something, these guys have expendable too. If you would score 2 points for killing them normally, well, now you're only going to score 1 because they're expendable. There's something that's expected to be destroyed, and it's going to reduce your actual score value that you get from killing them. So chaff units have more actual purpose than just being throwaways, and I kind of like that. It's definitely giving me more positives, net positives overall for the actual lookout on the rules than I would have been seeing or wondering about before. That said, when you combine those and that with the fact that we're seeing what we're assuming are stat lines that are proper on the GW website, Contemptors are the only dread that hasn't been so far that we haven't been seeing, or that we have not seen. But all the other dreads look to be weapon skill and ballistic skill 4. So it looks like they're taking a step back in making everything feel more balanced. They're keeping, from what we know, the current weapon skill chart. So with that in play, making all other dreads weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, it seems like the era of dreads uber alles feels like it's over, if that makes sense. And seeing more dudes and meat and potatoes on the table, I think, is something everyone's looking forward to, especially those of us like Jack who have lots and lots of squads of dude mans.
I have lots of dudes men, and I have tons of rhinos.
That's a fair statement.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Combine that with the leaks that we've seen that you can possibly charge out of any vehicle upon its arrival, except for like not dreads, but drop pods. That it really makes the idea of throwing smaller tanks back on the table on a regular basis seem more likely to happen, especially with the lack of you just blowing it up by rolling on the damage chart with the single last cannon hit and you having to shoot through those hull points. I kind of like that. I think it makes all the vehicles more likely to survive longer. So kind of a fan personally, because, you know, we all like tanks. But that's pretty much all the news that I can think of.
Oh, they had the Joy Toy commercial, was kind of funny.
Yeah, they've done 2 of them now. One for all the dudes, and then one for Dorn versus Horus. Yeah. And yeah, both of them were cool, and both of them were neat. And they've also done the 2 close combat fights now between Lucius and Saul Tarvitz, and between Abby, and Loken. And so far, it's 2-0 for the traders. So, while personally I'm rooting for my guys, I'm waiting to see like Sigismund versus Karn, where Karn gets thrown into the trash bin by Siggy, unfortunately.
Yeah, this week was mainly like lore.
Yeah,
They didn't really.
It's not been a lot of rules this week.
Right. Yeah, it was. They did the how big's your Space Marine Legion?
Yep. Varying sizes, obviously.
Yeah, very trader lore, loyalist lore, and then they went over the mission objectives and I think we already kind of went over how to add ally, or no, the allies was new too.
Yeah, I didn't touch on that one. If you want to go through that, go for it, my friend.
So basically, you have the same kind of deal with the detachments. I guess we're going to call it that. With you have what do you call it? Detachments and force orgs that work by adding allies, and it kind of works the same way we've gone over a little bit in the previous shows with just like flushing out the Legion, where you have a primary detachment, almost like if that's what you want to call it. You kind of fill that out, and then you kind of unlock or gives you access to the other allied auxiliary detachments for it.
Yeah, and it caps you at only spending 50% of your points on allies. So,
except for Lord of War, I thought that was I think that's
that one. I think you can spend more in.
No, it's only 25%.
Oh, okay.
Total points value for this detachment may not exceed 25% of any army for Lord of War, but it can be any faction. So Titans, big boys, vehicles, etc.
Yeah, which will be neat for everyone who owns Titans or owns Fellblades or Storm whatevers and
Thunder
what's its and Stormbirds and lightning
thingy
shenanigans or whatever else.
I will say though, from all the articles, they give very strong hints for everybody to log in to enter into the, I guess it's a raffle or contest they're having for basically you get a whole bunch of Horus Heresy stuff, and that date is the 29th.
Yeah, today. It ends today, or the date of this recording.
Yep.
They haven't done the drawing yet. They haven't announced any winners yet, so they'll probably do the drawing tomorrow or next week. Who knows? So, hey, if you're interested in that, go to Warhammer Community and get signed up for that.
I will. Then I don't think we really touched it, but like they also really kind of released the new drop pod for 40K.
Yeah.
We've seen the sprues of it, and it's like, I mean, yay, new drop pod looks a lot easier to build, but like, man, the way they did some of the way they fit it on the sprues, I'm not very impressed with.
Well, I like the old drop pod, but I get that they're trying to do the new one, trying to be supportive of it, and it looks neat. I just prefer being able to open and close the doors personally.
Oh yeah. No, the new drop pod, the doors, there is no, from what it looks like, there is no way to close the doors whatsoever. They are totally 100% fixed down. And like one of the like all the doors are part of like one piece, like the base of the model. And then like one of the 5 door blades, they couldn't fit on the sprue, so they literally just cut it in half. And then there's like a half a door sitting like someplace randomly on the sprue.
Yeah.
So
it's odd, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. For those of you who are out there who've been playing Heresy for a while, you've probably seen a lot of the old style conversions for the drop pods to turn the old plastic drop pod into kind of a mini Deathclaw or Dreadclaw. This new kit, you're absolutely not going to be able to do that.
No.
So if you ever built the old Dreadclaw style regular drop pod just for aesthetics, I myself have, I think, 4 of them over there. You might want to get some of the old pods if you're still wanting to do those style, because it was a cool conversion and always looked unique. and it looked cool for Heresy, and it fit really well alongside things like the Anvilus and the Charybdis.
Well, that also brings along the question: is that the actual Dread Claw kit from Forge World, or GW, the expert grade? It literally uses the old drop pod parts. Like, you have to do surgery on the plastic parts to fit them to the Dread Claw. So, my question is GW going to have 2 drop pods? Are they going to have the Heresy drop pod? And then because we still have doors, as far as I know.
I don't know. It's a good question.
But it also, are they going to just do away with the Dreadclaw? That would be another question I have.
Or are they going to do an actual full-up only Dreadclaw kit release in plastic, maybe?
Or that, well, you'd need that, and then you would need the Dread drop pod and the
Charybdis, yeah.
So,
And the Dread pod, yeah. It's who knows?
There's a lot of questions for me, at least modeling wise. I see the stuff that they do like this, and it always brings up other, questions that pop up. They're like, well, you have this hybrid kit. What are you going to do with that now that you don't have the kit that it's based off? So,
yep. Wonderful question. I think that something that everybody who's in Heresy knows is that Heresy, we convert stuff. We always do. We always have. Be it small things like head swaps or gun swaps or torso swaps. People fiddle with their stuff. I do conversions of my dudes. I've done the various tank conversions. I've done like dreadnought conversions. I've done the drop pod conversions.
well, I mean, just you're having to convert like the base troops into like a lasgun team or whatever. I mean, that's pretty much that's our hobby, is all conversion. I mean, to other tactical squads,
Yeah, stuff doesn't look the same on the table when you go between my army and Jamie's army and Jack's army. Even if they were bare plastic, we each would have modeled our stuff and converted stuff entirely different from one another. So, who knows?
I don't know. It's just it leads me to have other questions like, are we going to see more new stuff soon because of that?
I would say that with the new plastic pod, kind of eliminating the old plastic pod, that we're likely to see new Anvilus, maybe a new Charybdis, and maybe a straight old style pod for Heresy only. Who knows? It's going to be different, and I'm actually looking forward to it all a lot still.
I mean, we kind of already got that too with the Fellblade and the Felgal.
Yeah, the Felglaive, or the glaive, not the Felglaive. Just the Fellblade, the glaive, and all the other ones that are attached to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it used the plastic Baneblade, the old kit that came out in, what was it, 97? No, 2007. 2000.
Yeah, 07. Yeah. It's the days of resin are gone. Everything's going to plastic. It'll make it easier. It'll make it a lot more accessible for other people, other than just those of us who are into it for modeling purposes or whatever. So, not trying to gatekeep or anything, but I actually really look forward to seeing more people coming into playing Heresy. I look forward to Heresy getting bigger and expanding. I think it'd be good for the game, good for the hobby, good for the community, and I think it'll be fun times. Jack?
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I have been on the back end trying to figure out this whole entire Spotify thing.
Why don't you tell us what's going on with the Spotify thing, Jack? Why do we have 2 Spotify channels now?
This podcast as a unifying force for a purpose of good to defeat evildoers. We may have piecemealed the setting up the back end from one person did one stuff, one person did another stuff. No one's to blame on this. But it looks like that for the back end of Spotify, when I thought I discovered the login for it, actually I was officially claiming it. And episodes, and the other one is getting the new episodes when we drop new episodes. And so what I am trying to do is get the, let me copy that, get the one that our people have already subscribed to working correctly so that it would continue to flow through for them.
Okay.
And then let's see here in Drumwood.
Yay!
Yay!
So I'm sit here and see if these episodes update here in a minute. I don't know how long it takes. So yes, so that's what I have been doing while you two all have been having a very diligent talking about, well, I'm gonna guess how the sky is not falling activity of individuals that want to go down that pathway, how that it now is a good time to find the old plastic pods, eBay rescue, because they have been out for, oh God,
A long
Almost
time.
20 years.
17, 18 years at this point.
There's a lot of that kit floating around.
Yeah, there's a lot of that kit. Sitting on 9 of them. So anymore, I'm gonna have to eBay rescue, but also the other half of it is I've never thrown 9 down on the table at any given time since 5th edition 40K.
But now may be the time with 3.0 Heresy.
Who knows? It's gonna be, it's a whole entire brave new world. Everything's gonna be okay. There have been a lot of piecemeal rules coming through the pipeline, which I think have, in my opinion, for me, done more harm than good, because it hasn't allowed people to get a full picture. It's been a very segmented picture, and then which may cause the sky is falling. I much rather them shit and get off the pot and give me the books. Meow, right? Meow. So that everybody's fears can be abated. We can work on growing this great community that we have, and continue to throw on the best events that there have ever evented in the history of events.
Okay.
Did that have anything to do with what you all were talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
Did
it
really?
Yeah. So you were listening. You just don't want to say that you were listening.
It's not updating. Why is it not updating? I'm going to burn this place down.
I'm told that by my wife that when I talk, I put people to sleep. So, anyways.
So that's pretty much all the GW releases, news, and et cetera, et cetera. So, which kind of brings everything to our main topic for the night. Brian, what's our main topic for the night?
Dude, I couldn't even tell you anymore.
That's a fair statement, sir. Jack, what's our main topic for the night?
With the release of the model kits that they have announced that we already have, so the not the thud guns, but the quad motors.
The tarantulas, the quad mortars, etc.
So been hitting out in the wilds. Have anybody picked up any of the new models?
No.
No.
I can very strongly say that I have not.
Generally, I will say, like with the GW, with the way that they've been doing Heresy releases, unless it's like considered a core unit or whatever, which would be like the starter boxes and for whatever reason dreadnoughts and rhinos, they usually don't get in the new stuff for the Heresy releases unless you pre-order it. So I didn't pre-order it, so my GW shop didn't have any.
My friendly local has gotten some of them. I just didn't buy them because I already have them. So I figure leave them there for people who might want to get them.
Same.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm mainly was gonna wait.
No, that's fair.
I don't know what I'm gonna, how or what I'm gonna do with my army going forward.
No, that's fair. I think that's kind of where a lot of us are.
I mean, at some point I will get them just because I'm a kind of, at least for my Dark Angels, I'm a completionist. But I will need to do something for my Night Lords to bring them up to par, and then whatever the third army I decide to start is. I don't know what road I'm going to take yet.
Not in an unreasonable position. Like I said, the reason I haven't is because I don't want to grab any of them because I figure other people may need them. I've already got 9 quad mortars. 12 quad mortars. 12 quad mortars. Because I also have Iron Warriors, and that's why I had 12 quad mortars.
You had a bunch in your Iron Warriors army.
Yeah. And I had the no friends list, so it's all right. I forgive myself.
You did.
But that's how we became friends.
I know. That's the best part, is the ridiculousness of that list led us to being friends, and all roads lead to heresy, I guess. Yeah, I don't really have a lot more at this point. So I don't have any real topic for us tonight, and I'm sorry that normally I would come up with something for us to sit here and hash out and belabor, but
do you want to talk about just a kind of an overview, the Warhammer, the Old World FAQ errata? No.
So I don't play Old World.
I don't either.
So I'm not really in a place to really speak about how the Old World FAQ and errata affects everything.
I know John wanted to talk about it, but
yeah,
I don't think any of us actually play it, so I don't know if we're in a real good position to discuss it. So
yeah, so
I just know that it was more or less what they wanted, the player base anyway.
That's what I got out of it. Basically,
yeah, I'll go ahead and read John's comments, if you all agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's important to mention the new Old World FAQ / errata and what it does to the game. He doesn't play the game yet, and he hasn't read the rules, but he sees online that it completely changes the rules for the better. A lot of people were having issues with Old World not matching Old Fantasy for how the old game worked, and GW took a lot of the community feedback and produced the FAQ and errata designer notes. Old World's a year and a half old, and they took their secondary game system and revamped a lot of the way basic units work, adjusting the magic and other things, responding to the community. And John took that from there to go with, if this is in line for what Heresy is looking for and maybe looking forward to, it's a great thing, as opposed to how Necromunda gets theirs, where Necromunda gets an update in every rulebook that is released, giving people a box that comes out however often, whereas what Old World got was a giant FAQ, a giant rework that changed the game, fixed the game, and he's hoping that that's kind of the route that we're going to get done. I hope we get FAQs when we need them. Going 2 of the 3 years in this cycle without having any FAQ updates really kind of hurt. I think it got a lot of people to not really pay as much attention to Heresy as they should have or could have. I hope that with everything coming down the pipe in the way they're changing it and supporting it and all the stuff that's dropping, that they're really going to give Heresy a really solid push. I think they will, based on everything we're seeing from them. Especially with the expansion of the line. It feels like they're giving us more impetus to stick around, and hopefully we'll get the same or similar soft FAQ treatment of semi-regular updates, semi-regular FAQs. We'll see. We will absolutely see. Anybody else got anything? Jack? Oh, all right. Okay.
Saw some stuff, and we can
Sure.
cut this if you don't want to send in here. But I saw some
No.
stuff floating around the interwebs this week that was diving into the vehicle rules.
Online meaning
Online.
leaks wise, or
Yeah, leaks.
meaning like
Leak wise,
Alright.
like from the book, like supposedly from the book, like with a grain
Yeah.
of salt, heavy grain of salt.
You're eating Lot's wife with this, right? Carry on.
Yeah. Did we see anything about like Lords of War with that?
No.
No. Okay, cool.
Well, like allied detachments. That's not what you're
No,
talking
I'm talking about the leaks, how Lords of War function.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We have not seen in the leaks, because I've been following those. We haven't seen a lot of any discussion of how Lords of War work. We haven't really seen a lot of discussion about how building your characters would work, because obviously that's in the levers, and the levers haven't dropped, even though there may be one or two floating out there somewhere in the ether. And there hasn't been anything about Lords of War. So what little there is about vehicles tells us that ramming as a whole is going away, and that tank shock is not going to be quite as the same as it used to be. We're having entirely new rules that basically your tank drives into an enemy unit and they get a reaction, which comes out of your reaction allotment, to maybe death or glory or maybe whatever. And then when you impact them, you do D6 strength 6 AP dash hits to the unit, and they get to do nothing back if they don't use a reaction. And that if you kill people and make them out of coherency, that can cause checks, things like that. The way that everything's been dropping from the people who have whatever, it's seemed very controlled in some ways, drip fed. It's not a whole, this is how everything works from A through to Z. This is how W, and this is how N, and here's how B works. It's not coherent. It's just
Right.
It feels controlled, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it's GW. Put that out, which
yes,
people have claimed that they have done in the past, because if somehow again books fell off the back of a truck and somebody sold them on eBay next to their dirty trainers, is that what people call them, trainers? And I spent $700 to buy them. I can guarantee you right now, like that book would have been PDF-ified from front page to last page in a matter of a day and a half.
yeah,
And it would
Using
be
the office document server.
yeah. If it had been, I've been the exact same way.
yeah, and I feel like the majority of people out there, if they're putting it out knowing what they have, then they would have put it out completely or a section at a time. Like here's the core rules, and here's the special rules, or whatever they're going to be calling that now.
Yes. While I'm certain that a lot of people, all the stuff they're getting is probably from the same location, it really feels like really suspicious that we're only getting these bits that have not been touched on or are actually supportive of what the GW community comments and releases are also talking about. So I don't know. It's really different.
Are you saying that this was released by paid actors?
I'm saying it definitely feels suspiciously like that is what has happened.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame them if they did that. So I don't know. I'll leave that for other people to judge. I'm not going to spread rumors or anything like that. But it feels like something GW would do. You know what else feels like something GW would do? release an Era of Ruin novel that they have had on the shelf for 2 years now, and have it only include information regarding one faction, and then have another book sitting on the shelf called Something Different that includes everything from the other side of the Civil War. That sounds like something GW would also do.
Well,
that sounds a lot like something GW would do.
And then they would have a third book that includes all the non-aligned or weird aligned parties.
No, I don't think they would do a third, but I'm pretty sure that based on the Era of Ruin that just dropped, and spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to talk about this, skip over the next 30 seconds.
It's all loyalists, isn't it?
And 30 seconds beginning here. It looks to me like, and I read the entire front to back. It's decent, but it's only loyalists. It's 100% loyalist faction. And I've now read and heard from multiple people that GW has another one sitting around on the shelf, or it's in the works, that's 100% focused on the traitor factions. Mm-hmm. So there may be another book in the Siege of Terra series, and that one may very well lead into a scouring novel series. Again, it's GW. Who knows? But they're definitely not wanting to let their cash cow fall off the table. And that's the end of those spoilers. So, yeah. The future is shaded, but has a lot of bright spots. We don't know what's going on because it's kind of hidden. But I would say that Heresy's alive, Heresy's well, and Heresy has a lengthy road ahead, if that makes sense, both in fiction, or both on the table, and possibly also in fiction for going past the Heresy into the scouring. So who knows? That's all I can say.
That's all I know about that.
Yeah, that's all I know about that. I do know that we will go ahead tonight and be able to officially say, hey, if you've listened this far, here's your reward. We're officially announcing that we're going to be doing a Saturn box set giveaway. It's close enough that within 30 days from now, we should have the actual box drop. So here's the official announcement.
One second. Spotify should now be working for everybody that has subscribed to that Spotify.
Good. There we go. That fixes a lot. So here's the official announcement past Spotify being fixed. Number one, if you are a patron, you will get one free entry into the drawing for the Saturn box set. If you are a subscriber who comments, likes, shares, etc., yes, you will get one entry. That's on YouTube, that's on Facebook, that's on whatever kind of thing you use to listen to
whatever
this.
Social media.
Well, we have discovered from this whole entire Spotify thing that people can leave comments on stuff that our podcast is routed to that we may never see. So limit it to YouTube, because
Facebook, YouTube, and Discord.
Yep, Facebook, YouTube, and Discord. That way it keeps it where we will not only see, but actually can see.
Yeah.
Okay, so Facebook, YouTube, and Discord. If you follow us there and you comment a secret code word that will be announced here in a few moments, you will have one entry into the giveaway. You will get the complete Saturn box. You will get a complete set of the bases from Elric's Hobbies for the Saturn box, for everything in the Saturn box. I don't know how he's going to do the Acheron, Archimedes, whatever the spider-based tank gun thing is, but they're putting no base for that. But everything else that has a base, you'll get. Yeah, the arachnid, whatever it is.
I don't think
it's actually gonna have a base.
It doesn't have a base, but everything else I think does.
But everything else that's in the box, you'll get a base for. And you'll get the box set. And it'll be mailed directly to you as soon as it is dropped on release day. That's it. That's the announcement. That's the big announcement. There will be a second announcement to go along with that. Second place will get a free copy of the rulebook. So there's that too. So there is 2 prizes in this. One being the free box with the free bases. The second being a free copy of the rulebook. Not a lever of your choice, just the main rulebook. Now, what should the code word for this be, guys? Anybody have thoughts? And don't say Sagittaire.
I sent a suggestion to your messages.
Oh, you sent a suggestion to my messages. No, they will absolutely not be that. Because while that is funny, that is not something I think we will be using.
Discord joke, but okay.
And this will be you'll post the word into the actual contest channel on our Discord or Facebook or YouTube.
How about what about
Gotta think here for a minute.
What about Istvan 5?
Istvan would be a good one. Let's the problem is that it's really hard to spell.
Okay.
Brian, you got any suggestions for a word we could use for this? Brian has no suggestions. Yeah. Jack, you have any suggestions on a word we can use for this?
Suggestions, but none of them are for this 9 family show. So I am going to have to say BB 25.
How about War Master?
I don't think HABB 25 would be all that good, but War Master might work. Yeah, let's go with War Master.
Probably spell that.
There's the code word. It's War Master. Comment in the contest channel on our Discord, War Master for free entry. All active paying members of the patron will get 1 free entry as well. And if you post a comment in the Facebook or in the YouTube, you'll get another entry as well. So there you go. There's our big official announcement. Don't forget, everybody, that we also have the 2-week hobby going on right now that has another week to run. Our drawing will end on official release day, or will end the weekend of official release week, so that we can then tabulate everybody up and get your box sent forward out to you. That's it, everybody.
Also, remember the road to 100. If we get 100 Patreon subscribers, Duncan will do a Ultramarine army. So come on, people, let's get on this. We got to get 100. We got to get the 100 so that we can get Duncan to have a new army for the new edition.
Thank you for reminding everybody on that challenge, Jamie. I'm so overjoyed that you were doing this to me, along with Jack.
Gracious. All right.
Yeah, don't forget that challenge for everybody. If we hit 100 patrons, 50 paying patrons total, I will start an Ultramarines army and play it at Adepticon of next year.
What would make it even better is if it's a ranged attack Ultramarines army.
Now you're gonna have to let me figure out the way I would play the Ultramarines when I do it, if I do it. That's all there is to it. Anyway. Right, so there's one more giveaway that we have forgotten to mention. Run that alongside with everything else we've got going on. And that is, we have a ticket that we're giving away to any lucky list who might be interested and might want to join into this competition. It is going to be for the event of Warzone Houston. That is September 5th, 6th, and 7th at the Sam Houston Racetrack in Houston, Texas, at Pavilion B, 7575 North Sam Houston Parkway, West Gate 3. you get free entry into the Heresy side of everything. As far as I know, it is everything Heresy that they are doing. And we can run that one alongside with the... Oh, let's just do let's do a challenge for hobbying on this. What do you guys think?
Good to me.
Let's have everybody post up in the contest channel a brand new Praetor. Let's go ahead with the brand new Praetor or a brand new Centurion kite. Let's see you post before pictures of it with written on it. Let's just call Warzone on that one. Write Warzone on there for your beginning shot, and then your end shot should have, and you should also have your name, the word Warzone, and then the date you put it into the contest channel. And then for the end date, we'll just go ahead and end that at the end of July. We'll run that for a month, and we will need final shots of that, and we will do community voting for who wins the Warzone Houston ticket for entry. So there you go.
Outstanding.
Come join us on Wednesday night hobby hangout to work on.
Yeah, get some time in to work on your new Praetor or Centurion or whatever. Which, by the way, you're going to need for the new edition.
Yeah.
No, I refuse.
Okay, that's fair. Thanks, Jack. Anyway,
Mm.
you all are awesome. You all are great. Everybody here, appreciate you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, spread the word of Heresy, spread the word of the Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast.
We've been pretty good about posting up all the news as soon as it hits too, with all the Heresy daily releases. So if you're looking for a conglomeration of all the articles and stuff, our Discord has it up, and as does the GW site.
Yep. If you're actively looking for Discord or channels, places to hang out, we have a very active community, and they're friendly for the most part, and there's lots of heresy going on, lots of talking going on. We look forward to seeing you across the table from us or in the various places that we all gather and game. Remember, everybody, stay accountable to yourself, stay accountable to your hobby, stay accountable to your friends, stay accountable to your buddies. And I've been Duncan, and I've been joined by Brian.
Jack.
And Jaden.
And thank you for coming and joining us on this. Jack, what episode was this?
132.
Accountabilibuddies Podcast.
Good night, y'all.
There you go.
Like and subscribe, and see ya.